welcome back to another edition of Attack of the Pack. Alright, if you haven't subscribed and you've watched all of our other videos so far, as far as the week review thing, go ahead and subscribe. Do yourself a favor, alright? You're only doing yourself a favor. You're only getting more enriched and more knowledgeable about the NFL. So, go ahead and just, right there, over there. It's over there. Go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, tell us we're a bunch of douchebags. I don't really care. Just do something, eh? Participate. They used to give out participation grades in class. Earn it. Alright. Getting on to business. We're covering week 9 of the NFL schedule. And what we have on tap are 2 games of note, primetime. 2 primetime games of note. First up, Broncos at the Colts. Now, this isn't going to be the first time they meet, but it's still always interesting. Just like every time Brett Favre played Aaron Rodgers, it was always interesting. We have Peyton Manning versus Andrew Luck. So, we're talking week 9. Now, ever since about week 8, you guys started saying, what do you think Peyton Manning's arm is going to look like this late into the season? Now, granted, this isn't really late, but this is about the point where those spirals start turning into ducks. At least that's what happened last year. Now, who knows? Maybe he had a small tear or something, and maybe that's what was going on.
Yeah.
But that arm deteriorated late into the season last year. But I digress. Peyton Manning, with no real additions on offense. In fact, they got rid of Manny Ramirez to go up and get Shane Ray. So they lost something on offense, along with Julius Thomas. Versus Andrew Luck and a lot of additions to offense. And then, of course, you got the Broncos' scary defense on paper versus the Colts defense, the mystery defense on paper. Don't know how Trent Cole's going to look. Don't know how their draft picks are going to play. What's that going to look like? Joe, at this point in the season, this is arguably going to be posturing. This could be a battle to help determine. It won't determine, but it'll help determine possibly who gets a first-round bye in the playoffs. Joe, who do you have for the mid-season playoff? That's what it feels like, mid-season playoff game. One team, whoever wins, has a lot to win, and the other team is not going to lose everything, but it's going to set them back.
We're for 9 weeks and only going over primetime games. We seem to talk about the Colts a lot.
Well, there are a lot of primetime games.
Yeah.
A lot of storylines.
I'm gonna
just like the Packers.
I'm gonna pick the Colts again. I've picked them, I think, every time we've picked so far through week 9. I just think you're really going to start seeing Manning decline this year. And I think you're going to see Luck, with all these added key pieces on offense, starting to show even more.
Right.
Why people say he's going to be an elite quarterback.
Right. Really tone down the interceptions. Hopefully.
I definitely think you're going to see the interceptions toned down this year because he's not going to be.
They're
not going to be reliant on throwing the ball.
For the arguably first time in his career, he's going to have a running back he can turn around and see back in the backfield every snap and, see, hey, I know he's going to be back there. He's not going to be injured.
Yeah.
He's going to be there for me to just hand the ball off and go. I like the Colts in this matchup. The Broncos got some nice pieces. They got Aqib Talib in the back end. They got T.J. Ward. They got they drafted Bradley Roby, corner out of Ohio State. They of course have Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Shane Ray. They lost Terrence Knighton, so that'll be interesting to see how their run defense is. And of course they lost Julius Thomas on the offensive side of the ball. So really, honestly, I thought when Peyton went to the Broncos and they eventually reached the Super Bowl, I felt like right then and there that was make it or break it. If they didn't make it then, they're never going to make it again. And last year it really showed. And honestly, if the second half of the season had been the start of a new season, they wouldn't have even made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Manning was you'll hear me say this a lot if you watch our videos and Manning comes up in discussion, Peyton that is, that noodle arm.
Yeah, I mean, think about the Broncos too. How much longer are they able to pay
Oh,
that payroll of what they got?
Oh,
That team they went out and built to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you can't do that. You can't build a team through free agency. You'll lose to a team that was drafted every time. They lost to one of the best drafting teams in the league in Seattle. So, as much as we hate on Seattle, hey, there's a compliment. Write it down. It happened. All right, so that's the Broncos versus Colts, and the other interesting matchup that week 9, is Murray's return as the Eagles come back and play the Cowboys. All right, Joe, what do you know about this matchup?
Think you're going to see Marco Murray running with a vengeance.
Quite possibly.
Think you're going to see him running AP style. I will hurt you if you get in my way.
Hopefully protecting the football.
Will Sam Bradford be playing?
Hopefully.
Will he be healthy?
Hopefully. I mean, hey, they got Jordan Matthews. He turned out pretty good last year. They got Nelson Aguilar this year.
Yep.
If he comes out and produces, they got some tight ends out there. Zach Ertz, I believe, is one of them. Possibly Brent Selleck. I'm not sure if he's still on the team. And of course, Darren Sproles out of the backfield, Ryan Matthews out of the backfield, and even DeMarco Murray out of the backfield. So he's got some options, some explosive options. And of course, Riley Cooper's on the sideline slinging the N-word.
On the other side of the ball, will Joseph Randle or Darren McFadden be able to fill the role of DeMarco Murray?
According to Joseph Randle, there was a lot of meat left on the table last year for DeMarco Murray. Not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean. I guess he's saying DeMarco Murray didn't get as many yards as he could have gotten behind that line. Which, I mean,
so
he got a lot of yards. Produced. I'm not sure if that's an insult or a compliment. I'm not sure if he's saying DeMarco Murray is lazy and with this offensive line should have produced a hell of a lot more, or if he's saying DeMarco Murray is so talented that he could have got more because he's that talented. The way it was put out, I never once did I hear it come from his mouth, so I don't know how he said it, but the way the media portrayed it, it sounded like he was insulting him. I mean, that's just...
I just try to play himself up for that.
Yeah.
Get that starting role.
Yeah.
But my question is, if neither of those two can fill the void left, Ken Rome will carry this team. Ken Rome will have another season like he had last year.
He needs a consistent run game. It doesn't have to be explosive. In fact, Romo was actually at his best when Murray fell off a little bit. A friend of mine showed me this one day. Murray at first was averaging over 100 yards per game. Romo's numbers weren't that great. I mean, they were good, but they weren't like MVP quality. When he got to MVP quality was when Murray went down to about 75, 80 yards per game. But he still had one running back average 75 to 80 yards a game. So it helps limit him from... Because the funny thing about Romo is he needs like a specific range to be effective. It's like a certain pitch count, right? Like if he throws less than... I don't know, if he throws less than 30 attempts a game, he's not going to be that great. He'll have like 200 and something yards, a couple of touchdowns, and maybe one pick. If he throws more than 40 a game, he's going to have like 400 yards, but he'll also have he'll either have like 400 yards and like 4 picks, or he'll have like 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he'll throw 1 pick in that crucial moment to lose the game. However, if he hits between that 30 and 40 attempt range, now I'm not saying these are. I think I forgot to hit it. I don't think it's actually.
No.
No. Okay. So I'm not saying these are his actual pitch count numbers, but I'm saying like this is like for an example. All right. It could be, 27 to 35, whatever. Point is, this is an example. But if he hits in that sweet spot range of the hypothetical 30 to 40 attempts per game, then he's boom, boom, boom. 300 something yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, or 1 pick. 300 something yards again, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and things like that. So it all depends on, to get the best out of Romo, can't run the ball too much, but he definitely needs that consistent run game. He needs that guy who he can rely on for 75 to 80 yards. Because in order to keep from hitting that pitch count too high, he needs to be able to go and hand the ball off. And if the guy's not averaging, 4.2, 4.5 yards a carry or more, then a lot of the times he's having to throw the ball. And when Romo has to throw the ball a lot, he starts playing funny ball, as one of the analysts said. And that's when you start getting a lot of those Romo picks. Those, like, scratch your head, like, I know you have more talent than this, so why did you just do this? Interceptions. It's as Cowboys fans say, Romo, Witten is open. So, yeah, it's all about balance for Romo. It's all about balance. He's got to have that support. Got to have that run. It doesn't have to be dominant. It doesn't have to be the focus. He's capable of being the focus of an offense, but he needs that healthy support. He ain't like Aaron Rodgers, where we went 15-1 solely on his arm.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that kind of play, it proved you can't win the playoffs with that. We got shut the fuck down week 1.
Yeah.
Or not week 1, but
week 2.
The first playoff game that we made, because we had a bye week, obviously. We got shut the fuck down because we couldn't run the ball.
If you don't get a bye week with 15-1. Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, so you need to be able to run the ball, period, regardless of the quarterback, to win playoff games. But yeah, for him, regular season, if Dallas fans want him to win an MVP award, some feel he should have won it last year. I feel he had a good season last year. He in fact did have, I think, a better quarterback rating.
He did have a better rating.
Yeah, he had a better rating barely than Aaron Rodgers. But I just think Rodgers meant a hell of a lot more to the team, and it's the most value. It's not necessarily most statistically proficient. It's the most valuable.
Rodgers didn't have the running back with the rushing title behind him.
Exactly.
Well, let's put it this
I mean, if you flip flop
way.
running backs and offensive lines,
Good Lord. Let's put it this way. 38-5.
Yeah.
You can't argue with those stats.
Yeah. Anyway, my point is, if the Dallas players, or Dallas, not players, but if Dallas fans want Tony Romo to get that MVP award, they need to replicate what happened the last 8 games of the season last year. Steady running attack from at least one running back with 80 yards. I mean, you can have that one guy with 80 and another guy with 60 or whatever, but at least one guy with 80, 75 to 80 per game on average, and Romo hitting that sweet spot, whatever that sweet spot actually is. Romo staying in that sweet spot pitch count. I can tell you right now, it ain't over 40. I can tell you right now, Romo throwing 40 passes or more is not a good thing. He's a good quarterback, but 40 or more is not a good thing. And honestly, like even Andrew, and that's not a knock on him, you don't really want any quarterback throwing 40 or more passes. That means you're relying too heavily on the pass. Andrew Luck, I guarantee you this year, his best games will come when he throws less than 40 passes.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. As far as being proficient, statistical, his completion percentage, his touchdown to interception ratio, his yards per completion, I guarantee you this year, when Frank Gore goes out and has a 100-yard rushing game, I guarantee you those are going to be his best games, when he's throwing less than 40 passes a game.
Truth.
So like I said, I'm not knocking Tony. I mean, just I mean, Aaron Rodgers probably the same way. His best games are when Eddie Lacy starts running off.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you think about it, wasn't a couple
shit, he
games.
had what, 1,200 yards last year?
Well, think about it, wasn't a couple games last year where Rodgers only threw the ball 19, 20 times,
Yeah.
completed 17, 18 of those passes for only 200 some yards, but they throttled somebody.
Yeah. What was Eddie's average like? Well, 70 yards a game or something like that.
Something.
I think he had about 1,200 yards, and that would be So I think Eddie had around. It was low. It was like 1,200 yards, 4.2 yards a carry, and that comes out to 75 yards a game. And when he had that 75 yards a game, now granted, there were some days when motherfuckers needed to hand him the ball more.
Yeah.
When the dude gets 100 yards on like 8 carries, feed him the ball. Minnesota at Green Bay, hello, that was a terrible game. I know we won for like 42-10, but like play calling and efficiency.
That was one of the games we went 42-10, and Rodgers only threw the ball like.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, every drive we started by running the ball, we scored a touchdown. The drives, we scored like 5 touchdowns that game. Out of 11 offensive drives we had, the first 11 offensive drives we had, the 5 that we started running the ball on first down, we ran the ball on first down, we scored a touchdown on each one of those drives. The 6 that we passed on first down, we did not score a single point. I'm just saying. Like, how the fuck is someone not upstairs saying, hey, Mike, I'm noticing a pattern. When we run the ball, we score. So maybe let's run the ball a little bit more. Just saying. I mean, it's not even like we were running the ball the whole drive, but Eddie was just seriously. I think he had like 100 yards on 10 carries. The dude was averaging like 10 yards a carry. How do you not take advantage of that? Oh, you got Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, but motherfucker wasn't doing shit when we had to pass on first down. Anyways, I digress. It's not about the Packers. But my point is, long story short, you need that complimentary run game. 70, 75, 80 yards a game. Any quarterback, doesn't matter what level. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning in his prime, not now because he kind of noodle arms it. Russell Wilson. Russell may need a little bit more. But Andrew Luck, Matthew Stafford, all these top 15 type guys. You need that. I mean, well, you don't need it. You can win games without it, but they are the most proficient when they have that. And that will be the case for Tony Romo. And that will be Tony Romo's best chance to get an MVP this season. And it's going to be something Sam Bradford will have as a stable running game, hopefully, with 3 running backs. Hopefully one can stay healthy. Hopefully Sam can stay healthy, man. I really hope Sam stays healthy. Alright, so that's going to do it for this edition of Week Review. So we're going to stop here for the week, and next week we will pick up with Week 10 and go through Week 17. So come on back next week and come on back to Attack the Back. If you haven't done it now, go ahead, subscribe down there, leave a comment, give us a like, all that stuff. We got merch. I don't think anybody wants it, but I can get you some. Email me, attackthepack@gmail.com. Leave a comment, tell us how retarded we are. Tell us how cool we are. You can leave compliments too. Just because it's the internet doesn't mean you have to be viral and just nasty. You can leave a compliment.
Yeah, no cyberbullying.
Yeah. Oh God. Don't.
We've only got 30 seconds left, so we can start.
Come back to Attack the Pack.